There are moments in life when silence speaks louder than anything else. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of reflection. The kind that sits heavily in your chest and makes you pause longer than usual. Today, I sit with my crochet hook in my hand, yarn resting gently between my fingers, soft, fragile, ordinary, yet powerful in meaning. Every loop I make feels like a conversation I cannot speak out aloud. This white yarn is not just material, it is in memory, in motion. It is thought becoming form. It is emotion becoming texture. And as my hands move slowly, I realize something. Creation often begins where words end. Some people write, some people sing, some people speak, but I crochet. And in every stitch I make, I am not just creating something to wear, I'm creating something to feel, something that carries meaning beyond appearances, something that speaks when I am quiet. There are people who enter this world and live quietly, unnoticed, unremembered, and then there are those people whose presence feels larger than life itself. People whose talent becomes a language, whose expression becomes art, whose name becomes a reflection of excellence. Alexx Ekubo is one of those names that echoes beyond screens, not because of perfection or that it doesn't exist in anyone, but because effort, discipline, and grace leaves impressions that time struggle to erase. And as I crochet this waistband, I am reminded that human beings are not just bodies passing through time. We are impact, we are influence, we are memory in motion. Sometimes we see someone on screen and we forget that behind the role is a person who loves, who struggles, who dreams, a person who becomes part of our emotional landscape without even meeting us. And that is what makes legacy powerful. It is not about fame, it is not about resonance. It is about how long a presence stays alive in the minds of others, even when they are not physically present in the room. So, as I stitch, I'm not just remembering a person, I am reflecting on what it means to be seen, to be remembered, and to be felt. White yarn has a language of its own. It does not shout, it does not demand attention, it simply exists, pure, calm, and intentionally. As I weave it through my hook, I feel like I am weaving something far deeper than fabric. I am weaving remembrance. Every loop carries a thought. Every knot carries a pause. Every stitch carries a quiet acknowledgement that life is fragile, not meaningful. White is often associated with peace, but today it is also associated with reflection, because reflection is not always soft. Sometimes it is emotional, sometimes it is heavy, and yet it is necessary. As I continue, I realize that crochet mirrors life in a strange way. No stitch is ever truly isolate. Each one depends on the one before it, just like our experiences, just like our memories, just like the people who shape us without even knowing it. This wristband is slowly becoming more an accessory. It is becoming a symbol of connection between creation and emotion, between acts and memory, between life and legacy. We often forget how fragile life truly is. We live as if time is guaranteed, as if tomorrow is promised, as if people will always remain exactly where we left them. But life has a way of reminding us otherwise, quietly, suddenly, sometimes without warning. And in those moments, we are forced to pause, to think, to feel, to remember. As my crochet hook moves, I am reminded that even the strongest threads can lose over time if not held with care. And human life is no different. We are delicate, yet powerful, temporary, yet impactful, ordinary, yet capable of extraordinary meaning. This is why remembrance matters. Not because we are holding on to sadness, but because we are honoring existence. Every life that has ever touched ours leaves something behind: a lesson, a feeling, a memory, a shift in perspective. And sometimes the greatest tribute we can offer is not silence, but reflection expressed through creation. So as I crochet, not because I am lost in grief, but because I'm aware that life is both gift and passing moments, and every moment deserves acknowledgement. People often ask what crochet means to me, and I never give a simple answer, because crochet is not just a craft, it is a language of emotion. When I am happy, my stitches flow easily. When I am tired, they slow down. When I am overwhelmed, they become uneven, imperfect, human, and yet they are always meaningful. Today, as I work on this waistband, I feel something deeper than routine. I feel connection. Connection to creativity, connection to memory, connection to the idea that expression can hold emotional weight. Each loop is like a breath. Each row is like a sentence I cannot say out aloud. And together, they form something I can hold in my hand, something I can see, something I can feel. This is what creation does. It transforms emotion into form. It takes what is invisible inside us and makes it visible to the world. And in that transformation, healing begins quietly, not suddenly, not dramatically, but gently, stitch by stitch. There is a truth we often avoid thinking about, that no matter how bright a life is, it will one day become memory. But memory is not the end. Memory is the continuation. Because as long as somebody remembers you, you are still part of their world. That is how legacy works. It does not end with absence. It evolves into influence, and influence becomes inspiration, and inspiration becomes creation. As I look at this crochet piece forming in my hands, I realize something powerful. We are all threads in a much larger fabric, each life interwoven with others in ways we may never fully understand. Some threads shine brightly for a short time, some remain steady for years, but all are part of the design. So when I think of people who inspire us, artists, actors, creators, I do not think of endings. I think of continuity, because what they leave behind continues to shape how we see, how we feel, how we create, and that is a kind of immortality. As I near the end of this crochet wristband, I find myself reflecting not on lose, but on meaning, because meaning is what remains when everything else fades into silence. This white piece is no longer just yarn, it is reflection made visible. It is thought turned into texture. It is emotion turned into art. As I hold it in my hands, I realize something deeply personal. We do not always choose what life gives us, but we can choose what we create from it. We can turn pain into expression. We can turn memory into tribute. We can turn silence into story. And that is what I choose today. To create something that carries more than appearance, something that carries feeling, something that carries awareness, something that carries respect for the fragile beauty of life itself. This is Hooks of Passion, where yarn becomes voice, where silence becomes story, and where creation becomes healing. May we remember this always, that every life is a thread in the fabric of humanity, and every thread, no matter how short or long, matters deeply in the final design. Keep creating, keep reflecting, keep honoring life through your hands. You are loved. God bless you. See you again on another video. Goodbye for now.